episode 2 of my new co-host being on. Welcome back, co-host.
Yo.
He didn't leave yet.
you still can't get rid of me, Mike.
Love it. And listen, I mean, this is great because this is exactly why we wanted to do this, is because last week, apologies, I had a little bit of emergency. My dog had, of course, you know, dogs or animals always get sick like on the weekends. You can't go to your regular vet, so I had to go to the emergency vet, even though it wasn't like life-threatening. It was just, you know, a little skin thing, and I was just like, you know, so I had to kind of cancel. I hate doing that. I apologize to everybody, but we'll get special guests back on. I don't want to reveal anything because it's going to be a cool one for sure. And then I went on a anniversary trip this week, and we can kind of jump into that in a little bit here. But so I kind of couldn't record a normal podcast, so me and Shaun are here jumping on, doing a little recap for you guys.
Hell yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, boy. Would you? You were just messaging me. You had some stuff going on at the shed. What is that? Where's your car at? What is that? Like a storage unit?
Yeah, so we call it the washroom because it's an old American World War II airbase. Yeah, it's really cool. The actual buildings and all the site that it's on is still an active airfield now, but all the outbuildings that we're using for storage are actually ex-1940s US Air Force. It's so cool.
You are lucky, sir.
Extremely lucky.
Proud to be an American, well, at least I know I'm free. We'll at least stand up.
Hey, Mike, don't give up your day job, my man.
You should. Hey, listen, this is about to go down. I've always wanted to be a rock star. I just, you know, that's, I think, why I started the podcast, because I just want the mic in front of my face. I suck at singing, but I want it, like, at my wedding, you know how, like, the bride and groom have to give, like, a thank you speech type of thing, and I got up there, and it was like, what was that, I forget what the movie was called. I think it was called Rockstar with, like, Mark Wahlberg, and it was, like, this fake metal hair band, and their song was, like, stand up and show! Bow, 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 bow. You remember that?
Didn't Tom Cruise do one or something as well? It was like loosely based upon like Motley Crue or something, wasn't it? It was like
Probably.
the weirdest thing ever.
Well, I think that, well, yeah, because God, I wish I remember the name of the band. It was like a fictional band, but I was like, damn, I actually like that song.
Oh mate.
So, anyways, that was like the first thing that came out of my mouth, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" I don't know, what were we just talking about? Oh yeah, you're World War II, but the washroom. See, that sounds like an American thing.
Oh hell yeah.
That sounds like a World War II hardcore. Like, we don't want to know why it was called the washroom. It was called the washroom for it was for something secret, wasn't it? It was like a secret American thing. So that's kind of a shame that you have a British car in an American World War II bunker.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a bunker. That's a bit extreme.
We're getting. I was like hyping it up. It's just it's a warehouse.
Yeah, it's literally it's a storage room, man. It's like a cupboard under the stairs or something. It's, you know.
It looks cool. I don't know. It looks cool to me. But...
Yeah, it's cool. A few friends, they rent it, so they had a space available, and they offered me a small space for a small car. So I said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that with open arms." It's hard over here to find storage space, so when somebody offers you something, you just got to take it and run. As I'm pretty sure most of our listeners will fully understand that. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the architecture over there looks so cool compared to like the garages and like storage units we have here are so like new. Like it's like it's just like all drywalled in and just looks. There's no character to it, you know. And I always see you guys like working it. And it's like gritty brick, or it just looks cool. I mean, there's brick buildings here, but it's just like, yeah, that looks cool. All right,
just no character.
Yeah, not here. No. I mean, definitely there are places like. You know, small town America still has really cool architecture, but all these new cities and stuff, like everything around me is quite new. Obviously, some houses were built in, you know, whatever, the 50s, 60s, but there's not like warehouses. Like, I mean, there are, but it's few and far few and far between. Like downtown LA has some really cool. I'm sure you're familiar with like Magnus Walker,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Porsche guy. You know, his warehouse is super cool. Like there's a
Oh,
lot of cool
100%.
buildings down there.
That is ultimate dream garage goals. I kind of look like the Wish.com version of Magnus Walker. That's what I'm sort of going for, really. So,
I agree. Me too. That's okay. That's okay. I always keep mine up because I don't want to embarrass myself.
cheers. But yeah, man, we've just been plodding along with the car at the moment, trying to make some progress on it. It's a bit slow, but it's slowly getting there. Like today, 30-minute job. It's turned into, 2-3 hours, so can't really win.
Do you want to tell the people what you were doing or keep it a secret?
I don't know if I should. Damn. This is like I haven't
one of
posted
those...
anything on socials about it.
See, that's what I was going to say is like I've seen people that like work kind of and they like post like black and white pictures, very like whatever. And I'm like, I always wanted to do that for like a big reveal, but I get too pumped up about like certain things that I want to like, dude, check this out. It's so cool. So I respect I respect keeping it secret.
I mean,
you could, as long as you tell me stuff.
always. I mean, there's already a picture of it up on Facebook, but just not with the car.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, it's already
true.
out there. So I guess I could say. It depends if people want to know, really.
I think you're doing a good job. I think the suspense will keep people coming back.
I hope so.
You gotta get. Yeah, I think hold on if you can because I've always wanted to do that, and I don't think I have the willpower to. I'm like,
it's hard. It's so difficult. I'm pretty sure most of our listeners will understand. As soon as you get a new car, you just want everybody in the world to know about it. It's so difficult.
Speaking of new parts. For those that are just listening, the new Mini Life stickers are now available. Link in the description. Actually, turned out really good. There's a website here. I don't know if it's international or not, but they always have great quality. It's kind of like a matte, soft matte finish with our 37 logo that's flipped on. So should we tell this? I don't even know if you. I mean, I think most people hopefully should know what this is. But in the inspiration of it, and I'm a big logo guy, and this just popped into my head one day. Actually, it was based off of something, an old company that is no longer with us, but Mini Life, obviously, ML. 37 is the iconic racing number of Paddy Hopkirk. Kind of, you flip-flop the numbers a little bit, put them on their side, upside down, and it turns into an ML.
Mate, it's clever. It's clever.
I thought it was cool. I thought it looked cool. That font, for whatever reason, it looked cool. It kind of, I don't know, reminds me of like an old racing number, like a cue ball. I don't know. It looks cool.
It works. It's simple and it's clean. It's what you need, really.
Yeah. The other logo that's on the videos, the full one, similar idea. It says Mini Life with the circle logo, and it kind of looks like the Cooper S kind of badge, how it was kind of like silver and black or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyways, that was the history of the logo there.
But if anyone is wanting a sticker, there are links and descriptions on both of our profiles and also the Mini Life profile, so that you can purchase these stickers.
Yeah. The what's it called? Linktree, I think, is in
That's the one.
In the Mini Life Life.37 on Instagram. There's a Linktree. It has a link to a podcast. It has a link to the stickers. It has a link to YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. I think did I put the T-shirt on there too? I think I might have just winged it.
I think there is T-shirts on there. Yeah, last time I checked, I'm sure there was.
I haven't told. A couple people are like, "Oh, I don't really like stickers, whatever," and I get that. I don't care. I like I said, I like logos. I'm going to the website right now. Let's see. And I wanted to have everything in one spot. And I've talked to you about this, Shaun, is like I wanted basically drop shipping, right? You order it, it gets made and shipped straight out instead of me stockpiling these stickers and sending them out, which I'm happy to do. But I wanted it, all in one spot. But there was either this website that had terrible customer service or not as good quality, or this one I had to pay extra to add stickers, and it's like, dude, I'm not like, let's be real, I'm not blazing through stickers, although you guys have been way better than I thought. I sold quite a few stickers. I gotta get my ass in gear here, but it's not like we're making freaking hundreds of thousands of dollars on merch, so I'm not, spending. No, I guess I don't have the t-shirts on there. If you guys want t-shirts, let me know. I'll release it. There's a UK website that drop ships them, and I may or may not have worn them on my podcast before, but they had 3 colors that I picked. This nice gray color, kind of like the color I have on right now, a little bit of a navy kind of vintage color, and this sweet color that kind of looks like Mohawk green. And so if you guys want that, let me know. I'll release that link. I just didn't know how many people wanted it, and yada, yada, yada. So I'm not trying to make a ton of money on it. I like to share shit that I like, basically.
Hell yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, it's shit that we all like as well.
See,
it works.
It's not that I get like self-conscious about it. It's like I just don't want to like put out like something to put it out. But if you guys like it, I think this sticker turned out cool. It's a perfect size for the car. It's thick. It's that's what she said. And yeah. So, anyways,
on swiftly, yeah.
Anyways,
so what you been up to, Mike? I see you had a little road trip with your missus this weekend.
Road trip. It was awesome.
It looked pretty cool.
That's why we didn't schedule a guest this weekend because I was away for my anniversary weekend. Me and my wife decided to. I should call her Mrs. I do in private, but I don't want to be a fraud. But my Mrs. The old miss, the old gal. We just had our 7-year wedding anniversary, and we don't necessarily do a ton of stuff. We're kind of homebodies, but Southern California, there's tons of mountains, cabins, lakes, things like that. We found this cool little lake called I don't even know if I want to say it because I don't want it to blow up. But anyways, it's called Green Valley Lake. It's kind of outside of Big Bear, for those that know, between Arrowhead. I keep calling it Broken Arrow for some reason. Arrowhead and Big Bear Lake, which are 2 popular lakes here. Tiny little lake inside between those 2, but man, it was gorgeous. Mountain roads all the way up there, not super trafficy. Unfortunately, I didn't have the classic Mini, but I had my new Mini. It was still fun because it's mountain roads.
I was gonna say, how bad did you just want to rip the gold tooth up there and just give it hell?
so bad, and I had my bulldog with me too, so he was like in the back, and I didn't want to toss him around, but we left him at home a couple times and ventured out. And man, they're great roads, great paved roads. Pine trees on each side. It was really cool, really cool. We're very lucky to have amazing roads over here. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, I know you guys have some really cool roads, like B roads and stuff like that, but they're not. Something about like knowing that you can fall over the side of the cliff and die at any moment is just
full on sort of Pikes Peak style. That's Evo Corner. And
so this was it went from basically, I don't know where that started at is technically sea level, but it's not far off, to 8,000 feet real fast. And within, miles, like 8 miles or 10 miles up the mountain to 8,000. So yeah, it's real cool. Really cool.
So sick. I need to bring my Mini over and just rip some canyons with you, man. I really do, because they look incredible.
Yeah, you were saying that, and on the way home, I was like, I know some great spots immediately, right? If you like landed here and just boom, let's go. There's just so many. Like there's one, like Malibu area where I usually go, which is off of Highway 1 PCH, for those that know, Pacific Coast Highway. It's that like beautiful scenic road that goes all the way up the coast of the west coast of the United States. In Malibu, I'm like basically right off of that, and there's amazing roads up in the canyon area. But if I went back towards the mountains this way behind my house, there's some really cool little ones that no one are ever on. It's like literally like where people live. Super sketchy, but like short little blasts. So if I wanted to go and be gone for 30 minutes, I can go hit that up real quick. But they're super tight, twisty, technical, not like crazy high elevation, but I could be there and back in 30 minutes or so, and it's super fun. So
nice.
Definitely lucky to live where we live.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean,
if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
That's one thing I think a lot of the UK suffers with, is that we don't have a lot of elevation. Yeah, we've got a lot of tight, twisty, technical sort of country lanes, but there's not a whole lot of elevation, especially around sort of the Hertfordshire, Cambridgeshire area. I mean, there's some sick roads to really give it some, but yeah, just having the elevation change just would be so nice as well.
The Worcestershire area is really the best.
If anyone is actually from Worcestershire, please teach Mike how to say this.
Worcestershire. It's one of those things where I can say it in my head, but then when you like put me on the spot, Worcestershire. Like I hear you say it, Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. I don't know. I swear I can say it in my head or by myself.
Yeah, we'll get there, mate. We'll get there.
But anyways, your guys' roads look like sketchy in the fact that they're like old and tight and like they look like they should be one lane, but you guys are driving on both sides. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of the roads, especially country lanes, you're talking 1930s, 1940s, and they're made for like a little Austin 7 or like an old Riley or something, and you get a big modern Mini down there. You're not going to fit much else, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the thrill of it, I guess. That's what I'm saying. It's like the thrill of me knowing I can, like, if I look over the edge, I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. I'm real high.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
roll cage.
The biggest thing as well is, I'm pretty sure we all drive like dicks at some point on the roads, but you just got to... National speed limit officer, thank you very much. But no, you don't drive to 100% on the public roads. It's an unwritten rule. If you're going to go for a full-on blast, obviously take it to the track. But, to have 100%. That little bit of fun down the country lane, you're still within the speed limit. You're using the gears, you're using your footwork on the brakes, the heel toe, the left foot braking, double clutching. That's where the fun is.
Double clutching like your grandma.
All right, Toretto.
Double clutching like you should. But even like with those mountain roads, for me personally, it's like I'm gonna have fun, but respect it. Like I don't know the ones that I know that I've done a ton. I'll push it a little bit harder, but the ones I don't know, like there's no, like I don't know what this corner looks like. I don't know if there's a dip in the road that's going to unsettle the car. Like the ones that I hit pretty hard, like I know where I need to like back it off, where the Mini will get unsettled and throw me into a snap oversteer type of situation, which is not cool.
Yeah,
no, there's no guardrails.
Lift off oversteer is a scary thing because once that's gone.
So, the scariest thing that's ever happened to me is, like I said, I'm pretty respectful. I go hard, and the Mini can handle it, which is cool. So it's not, it's not like I'm trying to baby it, but it can go hard, right? It's pretty tight. It's got good handling. This one situation, it was after it doesn't rain here very often, right? Sorry for you guys over in the UK.
Yeah, just
doesn't rain here. Doesn't rain here very often. So when it does, it really messes up those canyon roads because there's a lot of landslides and dirt and debris and debris. Sorry, and
I bet they're greasy as well, aren't they? I bet it's so greasy with all the trucks going up and everything.
It just really messes them up. And we went like the day after, and so there was a lot of tree branches down and just dirt and stuff like that, and I had just replaced my rear drum brakes and just tuned them up a little bit.
Wear them in.
So they were fine, but like I was going around this one corner, and I hit this, like I got off the line just a little bit because there was like a rock or something on the side, and it like dipped down into like another part of the road that I'm not normally on. and it was like in a braking zone, I guess, like about to go into the corner, and it like locked my rear up. And I was like, I started sliding out. I was like, oh, like, so it was like dust. It was like a perfect scenario. Just changed my brakes, hit the dust, hit the dip, and my foot, like, just naturally hit the brake harder because it was the dip. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go.
This is going to hurt.
Yeah, it was, what do? You just hold on and...
It's one of those things, isn't it? I guess if you overthink the situation, you end up, dead in the water. And especially with a Mini, if you haven't got a cage, then there's not really much holding those things together.
I think I kind of, I don't know, you guys get a lot of snow, right?
We used to, not so much nowadays, unless you're sort of up north, Scotland way, I guess. But the area that I'm in, I can't remember the last time it properly snowed, but yeah, we get a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I went to a school in university, in the northeast, or I guess Long Island, and then Pacific Northwest. So 2 places that it snows pretty good. And I always had a Mini, and I just like certain times in a blizzard or whatever, like specifically the Pacific Northwest, like up in northern Idaho and Washington area, it was like some blizzards, man, on these little back roads too. And I was going like pick up my dad from the airport, just come to visit, and just like can't see shit, and I just like
your
start
little wipers going from left to right.
I'm sliding and just like, oh shit, and just like, like staying calm in those situations. Like, people here in California can't figure out rain, so.
That's right. Neither can England, and we get it 24/7.
I think it's just maybe just people nowadays. I don't know.
Honestly, I'm sure the standard of driving has just dropped considerably. I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners will, might agree with that as well.
I think it's like, I think we might be shitty drivers too, but we're maybe a little bit more aware because we're like car guys and girls.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like maybe what it is for me at least is like LA drivers are like notorious for being just jerks and shitty and assholes, and their Maximas are flying and like weaving in and out when they have no business doing it. What it is for me is that like I'm driving like with my family, cruising, just being fine. Like you said, either take it to the track or like I'm up in the canyon with nobody around.
That's it.
Like that's when I'm having fun and being like, why do I need to be racing street light to street light?
Exactly. There's no need for it. I mean,
do you guys have go ahead.
No, cool. It's cool. Do we have what?
Do you guys have like I forget what are they called? Takeovers. Have you heard of those?
Oh, is that the guys on like the intersections?
Or side shows or whatever the frick they're called. Do you guys have those there?
No, well, kind of, but not. I mean, we have a lot of like the modified groups go over to like Burger King car parks, and they'll just cause chaos there if they can. I mean, I can't lie. I used to do it when I was a lot younger, but you grow up, you mature, you end up going to a country lane at night when you're on your own and you can see the headlights coming. But no, I mean, there's still a lot that goes on, but not to the scale of what you guys have over there, that's for sure, especially with the takeovers on the intersections. It's crazy.
I don't understand it, and I don't want to give light to it, but it's just, it's really weird. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
Anyways.
No, I mean, the amount of videos I've seen of guys, just people like watching getting ran over by like all these Mustangs and not digging on Mustangs, but it's
in my opinion. Yeah, it's not. In my opinion, it's not car people. It's just they're just
it's clout crap.
Reckless. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you what is called a boy racer?
No, I wouldn't say I am. That's for sure.
I forget somebody on this podcast explained that to me. A boy racer. I was like, "What the hell is a boy racer?" It's
if you're a boy racer, you got to have the fluffy dice. You got to have the bad boy bonnets. You got to have the sun strips. You got to have the baked bean exhaust. Hanging out the back.
I don't know what any of that is except for fuzzy dice. What is a bad bonnet?
I'll tell you what. We'll get the listeners to drop in on the comments and explain any of that to you.
Listen, so right now I think on the podcast it's like split 30% UK versus USA listenership, and then all the rest is like Australia, Canada. Like, well, we have 50 plus countries that listen. You know, a lot of them are, you know, definitely a few people. You know, one or two people. Like, there's like crazy countries that. Like
I mean, it's so cool. Like, we appreciate every single one of you guys listening to us, because it blows our minds every time, you know, Mike reads out the statistics to us. It's crazy.
It is. It's insane. So I'm not sure if all of them know what boy racers are. So, you know, we might have to do a whole podcast on.
Yeah, hopefully one of our listeners will be able to, you know, drop in on the comments and explain it to the world, because I'm not going to reveal anything.
I forget. No, I forget who it was. There was someone on here that explained to me what boy racer was. I forget.
Yeah, wasn't it one of your earlier episodes? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I think so. Anyways, fun stuff. I'm sure I was a boy racer in the US. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Right.
I'll tell you what, there is one road around this area that I really want to take you down. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's a little road between, I don't know if any of the listeners are going to know, but it's between Buntingford and Baldock, and it's absolutely incredible. It's probably, I don't know, a 12-mile run, if that. But there's this one corner, and the camber of the road tilts to the left. If you're coming, I think it's if you're coming sort of south from it. But there's a little sort of drop down curb just on the apex, so you can hook your two left wheels in, and it just slingshots you around like this hairpin. Oh, if you can time it right, the feeling is amazing. It's such a good bit of road.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love roads that have a little bit of camber in them like that. I mean,
definitely.
my favorite is fairly close to me, and I don't want to say what it is because every time I've been on it, it's fairly empty.
Nice.
And I want to keep it that way.
Yeah, too right.
Selfishly. I'm in like a perfect spot because I'm outside of LA. And like all the ones that everyone knows, like Angeles Crest and all that kind of stuff, is closer to them. That's too far for me to go, and there's not much this way. So like the population doesn't necessarily, like there's a lot of like muscle car lowrider kind of scene where I'm at.
Nice.
So I think it's like this perfect kind of thing. And then I'm not gonna give away too much.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'll tell people close to me, let's go do it, and it's like perfectly paved. It's a great canyon, a hill, and they got freaking bathroom rest stops on them, and you know,
even better.
Something. Do you ever go down the road and you're bouncing along in the Mini with the stiff suspension, and you're like, it just jiggles pee out of you, man? Like not out of you, but you're like, goddamn, I gotta pee.
Like you leave the house and you go to the toilet. You're driving in the car for 10 minutes, if that, and the next thing you know, like, damn, I've got to stop again. I really need to stop. Dude. I can't do this. But the worst thing is, Mike, I've got the harness and I've got the metal bucket seat, and trying to climb out that when you need the toilet is not the one.
That's why I'm not putting harness in. Yeah, and it's like, I'll go to the Cars and Coffee, I'm going to hit up the canyon afterwards, and I'm like midway through, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, it's like it just hit. God, it's the worst.
Oh, it's killer. It really is. But no, see, the fortunate thing for me is I live literally right on the edge of the countryside. So for me to get down to the unit is all country lanes, and they're really reasonably quiet as well. So it's perfect. You can go for a nice little blast and sort of have a little bit of confidence that the biggest thing you're probably going to run into is maybe a pheasant at worst. You know, it's
pheasant. What the a pheasant?
Oh, mate, honestly, bit of roasted pheasant on a Sunday, perfect.
Wow, you get this is shit. I was bald eagle hunting this weekend up in the mountains. I didn't find one.
Oh, such a shame.
Tons of chipmunks, but no bald eagles. Unfortunately, I was upset.
Chip and Dale.
Yeah, a lot of. I saw one die on some truck ran it over, and it was devastating. When you see like an animal like that, just like they're so cute, and you saw it die. I'm no vegan, I'll tell you that, but it's just a little chipmunk was trying to cross the road, unfortunately. Anyways, oh man,
such a good picture that we need.
Yeah, it was sad, dude. It was sad. But yeah, listen, I'm antsy as hell. Now I found new roads to go, lake. I all I could think of is getting some camping gear in my classic Mini, because my wife has driven in my classic Mini numerous times, but I took it across the road, or across the road, across the country. I drove it up to United States is a big place. Like I don't know the like different, like if you smacked the UK where I went, like up, like how do you know how long the UK is from like end to end?
It's about this long on the map. No, honestly, I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest, but it's. I think
long
is it like 20? You can fit UK 20 times in like Texas or something like that, or if not more. 60
at the
times
what? No, wait, hold on. At the
serious.
widest, the UK is 300 miles across. From the north tip of Scotland to the southern coast of England, it is about 600 miles. Are you serious?
We're only
Is
an
that
island,
real?
man.
That seems really small. Okay, so for context for you guys, so I drove from Southern California up to Idaho, and then back down. So my round trip was 3,000 miles, and I think I did. I don't know how many I did in one day, but yeah, it was a haul. So I did UK many times over.
Jeez, man.
In my Mini, and it's beautiful. So all I could think up in that area, it's called the Pacific Northwest. It's like mountainous. We're in the Sawtooth Mountains. How cool does that sound? Right?
That is
just
pretty cool.
Evergreen trees. This was the rally I did. This is literally like the artist made a picture. That's my car right there.
Yeah, that's cool. So for any of the listeners listening in and not actually watching, Mike's holding up a little sort of vacation land card, like postcard. 2 pictures of was it Mini and Mercedes?
Mercedes.
Yeah, Mini and Mercedes parked outside of it like a pine tree. It looks really cool. Like the artwork's done really well on that, man.
Yeah, it was. So the podcast, it was actually inspiration for me kind of starting the podcast, the Overcrest podcast, and they do this rally, and it's really, they're very selective about it. They're very it's not just the roads. The roads are immaculate. Well, maybe not immaculate, it's not the right word, because there's some rough roads that they have too, but it's designed really well. It's not just about the roads, it's about the stops, the waypoints, like the little towns that you stop in, and it's the adventure.
Nice, yeah.
And I'd been wanting to do it forever. Well, all right, maybe not forever. A few years. And I just knew my Mini was on its, like, the engine was on its last leg. It had this terrible clatter and chatter, and I tried everything. Everyone was like, oh, it's the tappets. Oh, it's hitting the rocker cover. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And I did all the easy things, and finally I was like, dude, it's like, it's rod knock.
Oh, yeah.
It's the bearings, man. It's got to be the bearings.
If it's rod knock, you just got to give it the full beans and send it and just hope it makes the journey.
The funny thing was, though, I had this sound for a couple of years, and the car made good power. It just was noisy. It never, like, blew up, never did shit. It never, like, ate a ton of oil. But I was like, if I'm doing this road trip, I got to rebuild the engine. Like, I just feel, I don't want that to happen 3,000 miles away in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, when you're stuck with no tools or limited tools and
not
a mini specialist for, like, thousands of miles around, that's a bad situation.
This is like the only Mini these people have ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a common car here in those areas. Like in,
That's it.
old school America, like small town America. That's where we were going. And so I pulled the engine out, and I ordered all the parts. I pulled it apart, and the bearings were chewed up, dude. It looked like hamburger meat.
Oh, man.
I have no idea how it, like, I'm pretty sure they were just spinning.
Jeez.
But I had no, the crank journals were like, they looked pretty good. I took it to the machinist too, though, and I was like, can you just, like, make sure, double check this, everything. He was like, yeah, it looks fucking great. Like, I was like, just give her a once over. I was like, I don't know how, because the bearings were terrible.
That's worrying. That really is worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I got lucky, I guess. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could have gone at any moment. The bearings, I have pictures of them somewhere. Is that they just like looked like chunky. Like it looked like some of the metal like chunked up, and then like I don't know. I think because maybe it was like that when I first got it going, and because I was really diligent about changing the oil, the ride oil, and that kind of stuff, it just kept it going. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. It's lucky though.
So I got, real lucky. And I make, not make fun. I tease my buddy. He has like the similar noise. I was like, dude, your bearings are fucked. Like, I know this noise, man. I tried to stop. Like, I'm telling you, I did the same thing. We've done it all. Hero, you know.
It's when you get up. It's when he starts the car and you start, with a spanner and go.
Yeah. It's not even like that. It's not. I don't even know if rod knock's the right word, because like at idle sounds great. At like I forget the RPM range, but like it was like between like 1,500 and 3,000. It was like rod knock, kind of like clattering, like chatter, really loud chattering. But then it would like go away. So it was like, I mean, it was weird.
They're a tappy little engine anyway. Well, especially what my 998 was like. That was tappy, but it was a soundish engine. So
yeah, it wasn't that, and I knew it because I had been around enough minis to know. But it still ran great. So that's the thing. It was like, it was so hard for me to pull it. It was just loud as shit during like a certain rev range, Oh. So anyways, I pulled it, and I got it all torn apart. I got all the parts ordered, and we're crunch times here. You're ordering a lot of parts. It might take a little bit. Machine shop at that time was, because what was it? It was last year. So the machine shop was just backed up, and I had everything waiting for the machine shop. Finally get it all back and start putting it together. First time I've ever built an engine, so I'm going through the Haynes manual, reading line by line, which was actually fantastic. It was actually really well done. I'm surprised. Measuring all the tolerances, the first kind of part, I was putting the pistons together, the rings, and kind of doing that whole jazz, and the bearings, getting it all set up. And I had to I had the engine block on the engine stand, and just for those that are gonna blow me apart, I cleaned the engine block, I did the oil gallons, I did all that shit. I didn't skip any steps, I promise you.
I tell you what, there's one thing about those Haynes manuals which really annoys me and bugs me every time. It's if you haven't taken the engine apart yourself and you brought a pre-dismantled engine, was it the Haynes manual say something like fitting is reversal of removal? And it's like, hello?
On some things, yes, it does. But most of them though, it does say like how to remove it or take it apart, and then it'll say like So if you
so it's like you got to
like,
reverse engineer it back to taking it apart to then put it back together to take it apart again. It's like
no, the engine part of it didn't. It told you in order of what to do and how to do it and that kind of stuff. And then I think it did tell you to like jump to section whatever for tolerances and whatever. So measuring all this stuff out, and I had a janky piston ring compressor, and I got like 2 in, and like the third piston like snapped the piston ring. I was like, fuck. I'm like, I forget how close I was to leaving, but it was, so I had to like order these piston rings, and I got them, shipped.
Was that one of those moments where you just sort of, you put everything down very, very gently, you just get up, you don't say a word, and you just walk out and shut that door?
There's a lot of moments, I don't know how this could go on a long time. Maybe I'll just tell this part of the story, and we'll reconvene on another day on the actual journey, because I love this story, and it just seems like everyone has a certain story like this, and it's all worth it.
Definitely.
It was for me, it's like I get so pissed that I just like lay on the garage floor. I'm just like laying there. I can't do anything. I'm just
It's like meditating.
I'm just like, I'm not meant to go, dude. I'm not meant to. Because at first, because I thought like this was like the first big one. At first, like I was getting anxious because the engine, the machine shop was taking a long time. This was the first time I was like, shit. Like I snapped a ring. Like, okay, fine. I can get those here in a couple days. We have some good people here that can ship them pretty fast. But I was like, shit, is it like this? So I was like trying to find like a better piston ring compressor or just get better at it because it was probably half user error. But so anyways, got the new piston rings, got that in, got them all in. It was rotating nice, all of that jazz. And I keep moving forward. Everything's going nice. It's looking great. Get it all together, and I get it in the. I dropped the engine in the car with a gearbox and everything. I just didn't put the head on yet because I figured it'd be lighter to put it in and just put it all. The head on the last kind of like crown.
Yeah, you can get the manifold and the carb on there, and then stick the head on last minute, and yeah.
Yeah, and my buddies were like, "Dude, do ARP studs, do ARP head studs." I was like, okay, and I had them in my cart, and I talked to one of the mini guys, and he was like, it's a stock, blah blah. I think I just upgraded my cam, so I just have a fast road cam, but
Nice.
I was like, everything else is pretty much stock, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll save a few bucks if you think it's okay, and I just got standard head studs, and immediately when I put these fucking things in, I knew. I was like, God, these suck. Like, you could just tell, like, that I went to torque it down, and, like, it just, like, the way, you could just tell.
Yeah, like that
spinning too much. Yeah, it's like it's either stripping or stretching too much, and it was just like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I got them all, like, torqued to spec. Everything was good. Car fired right up. And immediately the head was just pissing out, and I was like, oh. I was like, I'm done. And immediately I was just like, I got to take the whole thing apart. Like, I was just so pissed. I was like, I got to take the whole thing apart. Everything's got to be resealed. And then, like, my buddy was like, well, is it just water? I was like, oh, yeah, it's just water. Like, all right, let's just, like, fix the head gasket. Or if, I don't know, get a new head gasket, new head studs.
It's that moment of panic, though, isn't it?
But, yeah, well, because I'm, like, at this point, I'm about to leave on this. Like, I have all my motels booked. I paid for this rally. Jeez. I really wanted to go, obviously. I paid for this whole engine rebuild, everything. And I'm like maybe a week out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, what am I going to do?
Damn.
And I think it was, I forget where I ordered. I found the head stud, ARP head studs. I got a new head gasket. I overnighted that from someone here. I got ARP head studs like second day air, and I go back in like after work, and I'm like dinking around with it, and I get them all in. And immediately you could feel the difference in ARP. If you guys are thinking of the difference between standard head studs, like maybe like some of them work, but the ARP immediately,
big difference,
just night and day, huge difference.
Wow.
Just the feel of it, it just like click, click. Like instead of like feeling like it's just like about to spit. That feeling when you're stripping a thing? Oh, it was gross. And for all of you that are listening, yes, I double checked the head and the threads and everything. Like, it was all good. The actual like stud was just like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, so I get it together, and this is also another learning point too that I had like deep dove, and no one really I didn't find it too many places, but I found a couple like on like threads, like on forums, like people mention this. I'm drawing a blank on the head gasket that I use, like BK. It's the one that like basically has like the sealant or whatever on it, so when it heats up, it kind of. Yeah. I forget what I'm drawing a blank on it. Sorry, guys. Long weekend, but somebody said like run it dry first for like a few minutes, just to kind of like don't put any water in it. Run it dry. It'll heat up. Like obviously don't get like too hot. But
so let it expand and then contract again so it seals.
Yeah. Basically, it like kind of gets that sealant in it to
Nice.
kind of disperse a little bit. So I did it, and I was like super nervous because I thought I was gonna like overheat or whatever. But did it, let it cool, came back a little bit later, poured the water in, no leaks.
Nice.
Cranked her back up, and at this point too, I was also getting like nervous because I had to like run in the cam and all this kind of stuff. Like I had like new, you
Yeah.
had like or whatever that procedure is, like run it for 20 minutes at X amount of RPMs. I was like, fuck, I'm like turning this thing on and off. And
All your neighbors
shit.
complaining and
Oh god, open headers too. Like
Yeah.
it was loud as shit. And so I came back and it cranked, dude, right on and no leaks. And I was like, hell yeah. So
Yeah.
immediately I just, turned up the idle and ran it for like 20 minutes and it just,
that's a good feeling, man.
and it was a great feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was purring and it no clatter,
Oh, even
no
better.
chatter. And I was like, I did it. I didn't spin a damn bearing. I did it. And I was like, I was patting myself on the
Yeah,
back.
too right, man.
Super. I was like, yeah, get it all put together.
See, this is
all
where I'm at with mine. This is what I'm going to have to be doing very, very soon because I've got that head issue. So I'm thinking about, bigger cam, roller rockers, twin carbs and stuff like that. So I've got to pull everything apart. If I'm doing that, I might as well check the pistons and the rings and decarbonize. And it's just it's a rabbit hole, man.
Do you have what size engine do you have again?
I got 998. It's itty bitty.
That's right. Yeah. You got a 9. But yeah, see, dude, just do a big cam, and leave it like open for supercharger or like turbo.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of research since we last spoke. I think is it an SW5 or an SW10 cam from SwiftTune, which
Yeah.
I'm potentially looking at.
A lot of people like that SW5.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'll be running the twin HS2s as well. So I'm tempted, a little bit of head work, port and polishing, 1.5 sort of roller rockers, and just not stupid crazy, but just a little bit of a fast road sort of spice with it, and it should be all right.
So a few of my buddies have done the SW5 cam with just like head work. I feel like it's counterintuitive. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I don't know if you do a bigger cam, like, because that's technically like a higher lift. So why would you do like the bigger roller rocker? I don't know. I haven't dove down that rabbit hole, but yeah, the head work on the 998s apparently
Yeah.
real nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
But that's what I would leave it open for like a supercharger or a turbo kit or something like that, because I feel like that engine's perfect for it.
it would be cool. It would be really cool. It's it's that where I just go 1275 and pocket the block like we originally spoke about last time. But
Mhm.
it's time, it's money. I just want to get the car on
Yeah.
the road and drive it. As probably you and a lot of our other listeners are probably in the same situation. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And that's why I went so simple with my 1275 build. I was just like, listen, I'm going to do stock everything except for the cam. It's out. I'm going to do the cam. All right.
It's reliable
Everything
power.
else. Yeah, I did the cam kit, so it came with the springs and stuff for the head or for the valves, etc.
That's it.
Yeah, it was just reliable. It like I said, it turned right over. I didn't have to dink with it. I already had the HIF 44.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a good feeling.
Yeah.
And there's so much shit you can do, and I really wanted to do a lot of it. I wanted to do more head work, and that's, I think, easy thing you could kind of do down the road. But it's
100%.
like, I just want it to work and work like it was, but without the chatter.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's it. That's half the battle, really, isn't it? It's just getting an engine running as sweet as you possibly can, and still having that faith and confidence in it without thinking, shit, this is going to blow up within the next 10 miles down the road.
Yeah. So I got it running, and driving, and it was so good, dude. I just took it for its first spin, and it felt so good. And I didn't romp on it or anything, but just like smooth,
Yeah.
quiet.
Big smile on your face, letting
smile.
everyone else watch you, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I get back to the garage, and I don't remember. I was just like tidying up things. I don't even remember what I was doing, and I noticed like the where the pedals are, the pedal box in the car. It was just like wet as hell. I was like, shit. I was like, what is? I think I actually. So let me rewind. While I was waiting for the machine shop, rabbit hole. Somebody convinced my brake lines. Somebody messed with them before, and they like went up and over instead of like the normal routing. It looked really ugly, but it worked. And somebody was like, dude, just redo them. I was like, oh, okay, I got time. So I redid them, and I think while it was empty, it like just it died. Like my brake master cylinder just like messed up and like just bit the bullet. I don't know. You know how when you mess with things, they break.
Oh
right?
yes.
So my brake master cylinder or clutch, I don't know, or both, were just leaking down the pedals, and my whole inside was all brake fluid. I was like, shit.
I bet that smelled lovely.
It was just like the paint. Not that my car has great paint, but like just everything inside. I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, like now I'm like 4 days out, maybe. I don't even remember the exact time. And I was like, shit. And I just went on immediately. I was like, does anyone have a brake master, clutch master that I can buy out like local? And this guy did, from really nice guy. He's got a lot of really cool cars. And we should get him on the pod maybe. He's not close. He was like hour or two away. And I was like, shit, all right, screw it. I'm just going to go. Saturday, I'm going to put him back in. I get back, really like almost brand new brake master and clutch master. Just had to be kind of cleaned out a little bit. And I go to put it in, and it's the wrong one. Not the wrong one. It's not the one that I had with the fittings that I had.
Oh, is it from like an 80s Mini rather than a 90s Mini, or?
Yeah, and I don't remember the fitting style, but I had the double stack one, right, where both of the fittings were the same size. This one was a bigger one and a smaller one, or vice versa, or whatever it was. Like, son of a... I didn't have those fittings. And I was like, oh my God, dude. And I was like, oh. And they're like they're not uncommon fittings, but they're not like something that my AutoZone or O'Reilly's stocks. And I had to like go back, and they're like, I don't know. And I was like looking at all the brake lines versus the fittings, and the people there don't know what the hell they're talking about. So they're like, oh, just come back here. So I'm on their freaking like ladder thing for inventory ladder in the back of their stock room looking for brake fittings. And I'm just like, this is terrible. And I finally find the fittings. This is a full day of it. I'm like in the garage, and I redo the brake line. There's like, enough to not have to redo a whole brake line. So just the fitting, and I get them in there. Inserted, everything like that. I start bleeding the brakes. It's not bleeding. It won't bleed.
Shit.
It will not bleed. Like zero. Like I've bled a lot of brakes. I'm not an idiot. Like minis are very easy to bleed.
They are.
It will not bleed.
Oh
No bleedage. And I was like, what the hell? Like no way. Like well maybe blah blah whatever. And I go to the parts store again, and I get like one of those like air bleed ones.
Oh, is that like the reversible ones?
Yeah, like you plug the air hose up to it and on one side, and then you plug, you put it into the little bleed nipple, and then you pull the trigger, and it like basically sucks the fluid through.
Yeah.
Would not do it.
Damn.
It would not do it. And I was like, what the absolute fuck is going on? It would not do it. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was like laying on the floor underneath the car, brake fluid all over me, and just like looking up. It's like, I'm not going. I'm not, it's like, this is not happening. It's just like the mini gods, the car gods do not want me to go on this trip. And my wife is dude, it was terrible. My wife is very supportive. She's like, you're going on this trip. And I was like, find me a brake master cylinder, like. And the good people over and I think he teased me when I actually bought this, but the good people over at Heritage Garage, and they're in Costa Mesa, and it's not far, but it's not close to me either. It's It's like 2 hours plus maybe.
Oof.
And
Local.
it's local. And I had to work, and I think, if I remember correctly, I was leaving the next day. And my wife was like, I had to work because I was already taking off work. And my wife was like, I will go. I was like, no, I'll just go after work and I'll just do it. Whatever. She's like, no, I'll go. I was like, are you sure? She went in like rush hour traffic, drove down. It was like 4 hours. She got a brake master, so a brand new one.
She needs a medal. She deserves a
does.
medal, my man.
She was like, no, you're going on this freaking trip. Like, you're doing this. So she drives out there, picks it up, gets to see the shop that I haven't seen because it's so far away. Anyway, so she comes back. She gets. I was like, oh sweet. So I finish up work. I go down there, and it bolts up. Boom, bleeds. Nice. Feels so good.
Perfect.
Feels tight. I was like, damn, this is what brake's supposed to feel like. My other one was. The clutch master worked, and it was fine. I remember I replaced both. This is foreshadowing, I guess. Clutch master was fine. It was all good. I had the old like metal canister one before.
Yeah.
And it was just barely leaking, but I was like, all right, this one's like almost brand new. Let me just switch it. Bad idea.
Oh. Was it a case of if it's not overly bad, just leave it alone?
I should have. This is going to be too long of a story to continue, and we'll get to part 2 later at a later date. We'll have to remember where I left off. I'm going to leave off of when I leave for the trip. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good place.
So I just kind of, spoiler alert, I did leave for the trip. So anyways, so she gets back with this brake master. I get it all kind of together, and I go for bleed it. All works. Everything's working. I'm like, okay, no leaks. All right, we're good. So it's late at night. I'm supposed to be leaving the next morning early because I have to drive to Utah, and it was going to be like a 10-hour drive or something like that in the Mini. So I figured it was probably going to be closer to 12.
That's it. It's like 50, 55 miles an hour.
Yeah. I can cruise at 60, 65's pushing it. It's screaming a little bit. It's maybe 35 to 4,000 RPMs.
Yeah,
so it's not
standard.
Yeah, so it's not bad, but
could be better.
That's pushing it, especially on a brand new engine that I'm still trying to break in.
That's it.
So yeah, that was the other thing, because I was like, I was supposed to be taking these few days to be driving it, doing kind of break-ins and all that kind of stuff. Nope, I'm working on the brakes. Break-in, I'm doing the brakes for sure. So I take it for like just a little jaunt that night just to make sure it all feels good. Brakes feel real tight. And a little too tight, and I was like, oh, maybe the drums are a little like it. So I like kind of adjusted a little bit, and I didn't really think anything about it. I just thought like, I got a brake master cylinder that's holding pressure now.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So it'll be fine. So I, get the car back. I, clean it up real quick with some like quick detailer, pack up, a bunch of tools, and just supplies and things like that. And, like sigh of relief. And I was also like texting and calling with I don't know if you want the owner, one of the main guys of the Overcrest Rally and podcast.
Oh, like one of the organizers.
The organizer is he's one of the podcast hosts. It's super helpful because he it literally I showed you that paint. They put me on like the poster thing. Right? I was like, I gotta go. I gotta do this. And he's super cool. If you guys haven't listened to that, go listen to that podcast. Like, they're always doing this stuff like that, kind of similar stories, and we all have that kind of story. And he was like, "Have you tried this? Have you tried this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just not like can't get in." I sent him a picture. He's like, "Let's go. Like, I'll see you there." Blah blah. So it was just a cool feeling. I just felt like, dude, we did it. Like we're going. Like crunch time.
A victory's a victory, man. You got to take it and you got to run these days, especially with classic cars and especially classic minis. That's for sure.
It was, I would say, 99% in working order. Like I could have probably tweaked it a little bit more. I just didn't have time.
You can't argue with that, especially when everything's in a last minute rush like that.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "You're crazy." I was like, well, "What the fuck's gonna happen? Like, I'm gonna break down and I call AAA and they're gonna come pick me up."
Exactly. What's the worst situation?
like it is in the middle of nowhere, but it's also not in the middle of nowhere. Like I'm not going to like parts unknown where there's nobody. Like there's small towns. Like somebody's gonna come find me. I'm
It's
not
the
gonna
whole
die.
wrong turn situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll leave the story at that. Early the next morning, I left for Utah on the way to Idaho, and the next little segment that we do, maybe I'll finish up the story because it doesn't end there. and spoiler alert, I'm still dealing with it. That's why my car is down. Jeez. It's kind of funny, actually. But the good news is now there's not much on my car that has not been fixed or touched or replaced.
Yeah, it's almost a new car.
It really is. It's got a lot of new parts on it. Like the whole rear is redone.
That's a scary
all the
thought.
suspension, all the brake lines, all of it's brand new. Clutch master, brake master. Well, actually, I lied. I rebuilt the clutch master. Foreshadowing. But it's all brand new. It's great. I mean, I don't have a gearbox still, but that's okay.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. It's gonna be nice. I'm being positive. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when it arrives and when you get it in and you can just go rip for those first 2 minutes of having it back on the road, mate. That'll make the wait all worth it, 100%. But until then, you just got to deal with it the best you can, haven't you? Really.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a great. Like, from what I've read, I haven't had somebody say bad about. I don't know if I've said where I've gotten the gearbox. I don't want to like talk down on anybody, but because it's taken so long. But it's a pretty much brand new parts, everything, right? Like it's got a X-pin diff, like a few little upgrades. Like it should be nice, right?
Yeah, a tasty little box in that thing, man.
I know. Now that I've waited so long, I should have gone for a freaking straight cut, but whatever.
Yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
But see, that kind of comes back to the part I just want it to work. I just want to drive it. Like
exactly.
Not race,
That's it.
Anyways, do you guys have a lot of like autocross near you?
Not so much the autocross. I mean, I think our autocross is slightly different to your autocross because you guys do it all in like car parks, don't you? So we call that Gymkhana.
Oh, okay.
Which was derived from like, okay, this is a real nerdy fact, but I think originally Gymkhana was like a horse type sport.
Like equestrian?
Yeah, sort of. Sort of like when you got like the horse jumps and all the shows like that.
Yeah, it's like equestrian riding.
It started off like that, and I think
it's like
when the motor car, came in, and a lot of people were actually having them, it then evolved into that sport.
The horseless carriage.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I really want to I want to get into some racing. I really, 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 really want to. And again, it's like they're all like so far from me.
Yeah, and the thing is as well nowadays is like I know motorsport's never been cheap. It doesn't matter what era you speak of or what era you've lived through. Motorsport has never been cheap, but there was ways to get into it a lot easier than what it is nowadays, I feel.
Yeah, I just want some grassroots. Like I'll do autocross. Like I really like. I feel like that's a great thing to learn. I just don't think they do it too often near me, and I'm trying to look into it a little bit more. Not too hard right now because I don't have a car to do it in, but I mean, because like all the actual race tracks around here, I think are little, because I don't have a truck and trailer, so every time I gotta rent one, and it's just like a couple hours away. Yeah. I'm not gonna drive them. I'm not afraid to drive my car, but to drive it, race it, and then drive it back home.
Yeah. See, this is why you should come and move to the UK because everything's like a 2-hour drive here. So, the nearest track from here is like an hour and a half away, if that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Food for thought anyway, Mike.
I'm gonna start it. That's what you do, right? Like if it's not there, you build it.
Exactly. Exactly that.
Interesting. So how much longer on your build? What do you think? What's the ETA on it? You're just kind of taking it one step at a time?
Yeah, pretty much. Again, it's just finding the time after work hours. That's the hardest thing, man. You know, not a lot of people know what I do for a living, but I average about 1,000 miles a week driving. So by the time I get home during the weekday, I'm done. I'm on that sofa and I am snoring my head off. So it's the times that I can get down to units is mostly the weekends, similar to today, really. So I've tried to do as much as I possibly can, especially with us losing daylight now. I know we've got the unit with all the lights and stuff, but there's only so much you can do with, fluoro tubes. It's not ideal, but it's better than not. So I'm hoping ETA is August next year, but I keep changing my mind with things. I keep thinking of different and new ideas. So I'm hoping either next year or the year after.
August.
It's a long way away.
I think we should find you like a interim mini.
Oh, yeah.
Just get it. Just get like, go on. What do you guys use? eBay there? Like, what's the
eBay,
just
Facebook
find
Marketplace, Auto Trader. Yeah,
just find the shittiest, cheapest one, and just that's running and driving. The shittiest, cheapest one, running and driving. Who cares? Rust bucket, and just keep the oil nice and changed, nice and clean, and just thrash it.
Oh, it would be cool. It would be cool. But there's no such thing as a cheap mini anymore. Like, what on earth has happened?
I don't know. Well, if there's, I don't know if.
I mean, I've seen shells. I've seen some bad shells for a few £100. But if you're looking at a running mini nowadays, you're talking 2.5, 3 grand,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw a free shell today on Facebook.
Free.
Yeah, it didn't have the front clip on it, but it was everything else.
I mean,
it looked on it. I mean, I didn't like fine tooth comb it, but it looked for free. I'm not complaining.
mate, you should have picked it up. Added it with the
wasn't
race car.
here. It was. I think it was in Canada.
I mean, what's Canada, right?
Yeah. Did I just tell you how big our country is compared to yours? Yeah, it's a long way, brother.
It's a hell of a long way. In fact, it'd probably be easier to ship it from there to the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I can drive across your country in shorter than it. I can drive across your country before I'm out of my state. No. Actually, that might be true.
I don't think you're far off. I think literally,
Oh my
driving
God.
up to Scotland's a day, if that. Not even a full day.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
It's really interesting to think about. That's a rabbit hole for sure. Because we were just talking to Umesh from Sri Lanka, and I was like, your country is it's such a small island, and you have so many like minis, and like I would have never guessed that.
No,
It's really interesting.
I wouldn't have either. It's crazy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool that they've made it to all parts of the world. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
That's what I love about this podcast, man. I keep having people, message me from all over the world. We're doing our best to try to get everyone on, and it's super interesting to me.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone has, like, I always explain it this way. Everyone has like the same story but different. It's like
That's it.
it's like we all have like a mini story, and it's all kind of similar, but it's like there's always something different about it.
Different
Like,
circumstances,
it always starts.
yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it always starts as like it was like my childhood dream car. I always wanted like this car, and then it has like this little twist in the middle that's like I'm waiting to like how did you find it?
That's
Like
it.
that's always the cool part to me, I think.
Definitely. I mean, they've all got, like you said, they've all got a different story to tell, but with similar sort of outcomes. It's great. I love it. I'd love to know how many is still out there which haven't been found as well. If they've gone all over the world.
But
Maybe in like Sri Lanka, there's a mini tucked in a garage somewhere that's not been touched for the past 40 years.
100%. And that's what when I found my S. That's what I tell people all the time. Like both of mine actually, they're out there. There's like hidden gems out there. Like people are like, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, "No, I was just like I'm cheap." And I'm patient. cheap and patient. I knew I'll find something, and it kind of just comes to you. That's kind of that's like the theme. I think it always comes to you. Like we're just talking Grainy Day, the episode Grainy Day. She wanted this one mini. She always saw it. And then when she actually went to go look for it, it was for sale. Yeah. The same one that she had passed all the time, and she wanted to go leave a note on it or something like. It's crazy.
That's it. Manifest. They're out there. It will happen.
Yeah. The two that I found were smoking deals.
Yeah.
Stupid deals.
Mate, I can't believe you got that Cooper S for that cheap. I'm so envious. It's unreal.
Dude, it sitting in some guy's garage.
Crazy.
He had no idea what it was. He knew it was a mini, but no one knows.
Yeah.
They're out there.
100%.
People had them as a car.
Right place, right time.
Somebody inherits it, something like that.
Yeah,
I know, not just minis all over. There's deals like that. Happens all the time.
I mean, the gold one that I've got at the moment, that wasn't going to be my first mini, but it happened to become the first mini, but it wasn't the first one I wanted.
Yeah.
So.
But it turns into the one that you do want.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's good. Well, let's end it on that. I love that because it's like a good heart.
Yeah.
Heart feel.
That's it.
That's a good one. Anything else you want the people to know?
Yeah, of course. So if anyone is wanting to follow us on Instagram, hit us up at minilife37, or if you want to follow Mike.
37.
Sorry?
Minilife.37.
Oh, is it .37? Well, my apologies. Proves what I know.
I think they're all different. I think it is .37. They had to.
That's
someone apparently had Minilife 37.
We'll get it. We'll get it from him. We'll get it from him, Mike. But yeah, if you guys want to follow Mike, it's at gold_tooth_cray, and if you want to follow myself, it's Scrapyard on Instagram.
Scrapyard, let's go. Yeah, I appreciate that. Go follow us. Keep up to date on everything, like our stickers that just dropped. No shameless plug or anything. Just if you want it, they're there. I have them listed at $3.70. That's US. I'll probably bump them up to $5 shortly, just to cover my costs of shipping internationals. A little bit more expensive, obviously. Envelopes and stamps and things like that. And then obviously how much they cost. But I'm not trying to make bucks on them. I just, I think they're cool, and if you guys want them. And then, follow us on Spotify. It would be very helpful if you can go click the follow button. We don't ask very often, but it is very helpful nowadays with the algorithm and just kind of keeping things going. My goal, I'm going to be very open. My goal is to just make enough money to cover my monthly cost, because this recording software that I use costs monthly. So
yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not. Trust me, I'm not. I promise you, I have $40 from Spotify for Podcaster that I've made so far, and that doesn't cover 2 months. I guess we're technically that we got paid for podcasting. We're professional podcasters.
Professional in inverted commas, but yeah, we're professionals.
So, anyways, yeah, if you want, you can buy some stickers. We'll throw a few bucks my way. Just like I said, to pay for this Riverside app. And I did set up something. I don't know if I think I put it on that link tree. It's buymeacoffee.com/minilife. I believe it was, and I thought it was kind of fun because it's like you don't have to do a subscription like Patreon or anything like that. You can literally just throw a few bucks towards our way to buy us a coffee or a pint. I guess
it's like donations, really.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think there are you can kind of do subscriptions and stuff like that. I don't know. I want to get to a point where we can offer something more when we do subscriptions. Maybe live links, I guess. Maybe watch it live while we're recording.
Maybe even we could
tell us what you think.
That's it. Yeah, maybe we could even do a live Q&A with you guys.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
So we'll try to figure something out that's not like just, unreleased episodes, because I feel like everyone should be able to listen to the episodes without paying for them. But if you wanted to donate, how to give you something extra. So we'll figure it out. But glad that Shaun is with us here.
Cheers, Mike.
And co-hosting it. We have a sweet podcast next weekend. I think we're going to try to double dip next weekend so we kind of can catch up here and get 2 cool ones out to you soon. And there's a few of you out there that we are still trying to schedule with, so we'll be contacting you. If you guys ever want to be on the podcast, let us know. Shaun said my Instagram, his Instagram, Mini Life's Instagram, my email address, whatever it is, let us know. And on that note,
We'll see you guys soon.
catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.